Hello everyone, welcome to the Uncensored match build-up for Liverpool's clash in America with Chelsea. Like I said earlier on the subscribe show, if you check that out. Chris and Paul are in Los Angeles. Lucky them, they've left me and Aubury behind. We got to go to Wigan and Tranmere and Fleetwood, Huddersfield.
I preferred that, to be honest, yeah. I would have wanted this.
Birkenhead or Venice Beach. So
New Brighton. Me and you had a lovely time in New Brighton.
The traffic at Wigan was delightful to sit in. That's what you get traffic in LA, so it was practically the same.
Look, you got a tan from
Wigan.
Manchester.
It was sunny and it was loads of traffic, so that was Wigan and LA, practically the same.
There you go.
So by the way, they are off doing that, so me and Aubrey are here doing the Uncensored match build-up, and we've replaced one matron with another. We've got John in to talk all about this upcoming, the first game on the Tour of America, Orbs. First things first then, the Euro players are all back now, pretty much all back. The Belgians, the Germans, the English.
I think Chan
comes back tomorrow.
Yeah, so
he won't play.
He won't play in the Chelsea game, but he's back. He's pretty much going to be back.
So they're all there now. The only one who's not is Joe Allen because he's leaving. So are we going to get more of a sneak peek at, because Klopp's been playing his best team first half and then the reserves. Do you think we might get more clues about what he thinks that first team is now all these lads are back? And also, second question will be, the second half team is going to be a bit better in terms of absolute quality, which will give us an indication of depth in the squad as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's and again, that completely makes sense until you realise we've got quite a few injuries. It's more towards the back, but it's going to be exciting, isn't it? I want to know what type of formation we're playing. I don't think any Liverpool fan can say with any absolute definitive what we are going to play. I think it's, from what we've seen in pre-season, it's going to be slightly different to last year, because that two in the midfield is going to be a bit more advanced and encouraged to get forward a lot more. We talked on the subscriber show about whether Wijnaldum plays that position or whether he plays as one of the three. I think that's the pattern of play that will happen. I think you've seen, as soon as he had a chance to play Coutinho came straight back into the team. He's not been afraid to be putting the first team players into that first team side. So hopefully we play as strong 11 as we can. And then, like you say, the consequence of that means that, I know Ajaria and Alexander-Arnold went, but Woodburn didn't go, Kent didn't go. Shea Ojo's joined back up, and you'd have to say he's higher up the pecking order. So that second half team should have some good players in there. It should have the likes of, is it Henderson or Grugic? Is it Lallana or Wijnaldum in the first team and then moving into the second half? And you just want to see how the new signings blend with the better players, the bigger named players at Liverpool. And I think there's a massive one in my mind, like a little sub-story of, where does Jordan Henderson fit into this Liverpool team?
And I'll throw this one to you as well, John, the same question is, James Milner's in the same boat.
Absolutely.
Those two now, having come back, are going to come back and go, Christ, it was me and you probably vying for one spot. Henderson's injury kind of forced it onto Milner in the end. Now they've come back and there's Wijnaldum and Grujic as well. And maybe we're playing one less midfielder, possibly.
Possibly, yeah. I'm not so sure that we will see his first team or whatever. He's actually gone on record as saying that he thinks he's got some players there who are now ready for 90 minutes. I know we've had a couple of them already. So I suspect a lot more of the fitter players will play. And he'll be feeding in the less fit new ones. So I don't think we'll find out as much as we maybe hope. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think if we go and batter Chelsea, we'll be winning the league, won't we? Every fan in the world will think we're going to win the league. And that's the worst thing that could happen at this stage, I think. I think we need to keep a damper on expectations.
You're speaking to the wrong man here, John. You're speaking to the wrong man here.
He's already bought a banner.
Oh, I think I've got a parade plan for next summer.
Well, we better get beat there by Chelsea just to dampen you down.
No,
it's got to be used for fitness for the people who haven't yet got that level. But at the same time, he's got to maintain the fitness movement of the players he's already got. So I'll be interested to see, where Mane fits in now that we've got Milner and Henderson in the side.
And Lallana.
Lallana, where, he's, as we've said on the subscriber show, he's now under real pressure because he doesn't score goals and our new guys do. So he's going to have to really pull his tripod out.
The one place we're looking a bit short then, Orb, is centre-back. Matip had the knock at Wigan. right, and he didn't play.
Yeah.
He didn't play at Huddersfield. Sacco's still out. Lucas, who played centre half a bit, he played first half at Huddersfield, is out with a hamstring for a month. He's going to miss the start of the season. Joey Gomez has had his setback, so it's Lovren and Klavan at the minute. I think are the only two recognised centre half. So how do you think Klopp's going to manage that? I know he can't play them all. He can't play both of them all the time because that's just you're asking for more injuries, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you do that, but. What do you see? What do you see as centre half? Is there someone going to have to fill in? Someone's going to have to drop? What do you think's going to?
It's interesting, isn't it?
I would have thought Matip would be okay to play by now.
No,
He's not going to play.
He
I don't think he's going to play Chelsea.
He didn't train yesterday.
Right.
So Matip coming back, that
helps
alleviates that, doesn't it? He said it about that. He said we knew because of the Gomez injury and the Sacco injury, one of Joel and Dejan were going to have to play 90 minutes. We decided it was going to be Joel. And that was when Matip picked up his injury against Wigan. So it pretty much backs up exactly what you've just said of you are asking for injuries if you're going to have to force these players to play. But they are a little bit further along in the progression. It's going to be Lovren and Klavan starting.
Yeah, obviously.
Because there's the only two centre-halves at the club. I can see... I don't know where Klavan would have been in his fitness with Augsburg, like how much game time he would have had. Lovren will probably play because they said referencing that.
Mourinho, when they got beat by Dortmund, said that Dortmund were like 4 weeks ahead of United in terms of their fitness training. So you would assume that Klavan would have been doing.
So they've been the same. So he should be good to go for 90 minutes maybe.
Otherwise, interesting to see how he plays with Lovren because Lovren has looked pretty good with Matip.
Yeah.
And without Matip, he's looked pretty awful again.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see whether Klavan's experience, settles the whole ship down.
And then after that, are you looking at someone filling in?
That's what I say. There's a job to fill in.
Grujic. Yes. So do you think Kevin Stewart? Does Kevin Stewart naturally drop deeper into that? Is like you'd say fullbacks because fullbacks are defenders. So
I suppose Andy Wisdom's the other option, isn't he? If you want to,
he's the obvious one, isn't he? I mean, Chan would have done it, but he's not going to be there.
That's the only thing what does me head in sometimes with pre-season is I don't think Andy Wisdom's going to be here soon, but he's going to, because of injuries, he's taking minutes off someone who is, and that happens. It just kind of that as a fan annoys me. Like I'm so glad Mario Balotelli isn't there because he was never going to play. So we'd have just been wasting our time. In fact, he was on the Echo this morning. He was in Southport and turned up at someone's wedding. Yeah. Good for him. Let's go and fill your boots, Mario, because you're not going to play.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I get with Wisdom, and obviously Laurie's going to the Olympics, so he can't play, is that he's getting minutes now that he doesn't need, but I suppose, like say, you'd rather that than overplay Dejan Lovren or Klavan, who you don't want to get injured. I might as well, new signing, he's here, Genie Wijnaldum, I'm going to say, in my Dutch accent.
Like Steve McLaren.
I was going to say, me Steve McLaren. I've had my hair shaved so that I haven't got the island on show. If it had been 2 weeks later, I have the McLaren Island as well sometimes. So yeah, Wijnaldum, he's going to play at some stage. I suppose the obvious Paul Machin question he would say is, are you excited to see him?
Yeah. No, I'm not. No,
so move on.
None. Of course you are, yeah.
Chris would have went, it's one of those. That's what Chris would have said.
Chris says,
yeah,
it's one of those.
Yeah. So you have to say that.
It's one of those, isn't it? And then pull a funny face. Of course you are. You want to see. Again, more excited because I genuinely don't know what position he plays for us. I don't know where he's going to be seen at. And I don't think we'll see too much experimentation. What we thought, Mane started on the right, didn't he, in the very first.
That's what he's been.
And then he played on the left against Wigan. And then he moved back into the right for the next 2 matches. I think we've...
he played left at Fleetwood. He played right at Wigan.
Oh, sorry, yeah, he played left against Fleetwood. It was the second one, wasn't it?
Played right at Wigan.
So then you're talking... We've not seen, because we thought, oh, okay, so we're going to see him in a striker role, and then 1 week we'll see him in the 10. No, he's pretty much played on the right the rest of the time. And again, I think getting Wijnaldum up to speed, unless he has been bought as the consummate utility player, so he won't start and he will just slot in, where he starts will probably be where he starts most times for us. So that's going to be intriguing. Is it going to be one of the two in the midfield? Is it going to be one of the three behind? Is he left and Coutinho has to move in and Coutinho drops deeper? So it's going to have it's going to answer a lot of the questions that we currently have. And then if you can't get excited about a £25 million new signing for your club, who's a Dutch international, captain PSV to the league, a few years ago. Just don't get excited about anything then, you know what I mean?
It's not for you, is it?
Yeah.
This isn't for you. You can get excited about Ragnar Klavan, who I'm sure is going to be great, but he hasn't set the pulse racing. But your £25 million player, John, should, in theory,
Yeah,
that's what you want to do.
particularly as they, like Mane, scored goals against us.
Yeah,
You
everyone. I think that's been our policy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Recently,
If you score against us, we'll buy you.
Yeah.
there was a stat the other week, and I wrote put it on Twitter as well. It was like something like every player who's scored against Liverpool at Anfield in the league since Southampton got promoted now plays for Liverpool. It was like, it was Lovren was there, Mane was there, Lallana, and Nathaniel Klein.
Yeah, Nathaniel Klein.
Nathaniel Klein has scored against us. So yeah, scored against. You want to play for Liverpool, and you
Come to Anfield and score.
There's a guy I'm looking forward to seeing come back is Klein. He played one game in the Euros and looked absolutely like a world beater.
I love him. I think he's fantastic.
So I'm really looking forward to his season this season. I was a bit mixed about him last season. I thought he had some limitations, but I think he's got the potential to be absolutely fantastic.
And I suppose, like we've just gone back to, you had guys who were going to create and score goals. It eased that burden on him.
Yeah.
So where it was, he was playing behind Adam Lallana, who you would have, for all what Lallana does, his qualities are his industry, a bit of his vision, a bit of technique, but he didn't assist that many, he didn't score many. If Mane's in front of him now, it could be easy for him to go, I'll just play the ball through to you because you're there fast.
Yeah.
And we're in, and it makes his job easier.
The other thing, when Mane played on the left with Moreno,
The overlap.
He knew how to play Moreno. He knew when to play him in, and so he's intelligent enough to play Klein in when he needs. So many times Klein got forward and there was no end product from him.
Yeah.
But I think if you've got a decent guy in front of you,
and numbers in the box, which we spoke of on the subscriber show as well, is that we're looking now to get. We think someone's going to sit. It's been Stuart. We think it's going to be Emre Can, and then the other 5 are going to be up there. So if your fullback's got the ball, in theory you should have your 5 attackers and possibly your left back.
I'm hoping as well that Wijnaldum will be one of these guys who comes late into the box, because we've lacked that for years.
Yeah.
Someone who just turns up out of nowhere and sticks
Lampard's
the ball in.
Yeah.
Lampard's
Grugic has looked like that as well, which is again something that we've not had. But it was really serendipitous. But we shot the, I think we were creating the perfect striker on the day before. What was our first friendly? Was it Fleetwood?
The first one,
Tranmere. Yeah. No, sorry, this is the second one. We shot that show, and Chris mentioned when we were talking about positioning, and it's not just about being the best skill is not just about knowing when to run. It's also when to not run, to stop dead. And he mentioned Frank Lampard just being amazing at doing that. And then that night, Grugic goes and scores that goal, which was the epitome of that. Everybody else ran, and he stood there.
Have a shot, take a deflection, goes in.
Ball come to him, and he scored. So Grugic is impressed at being able to do that. And then the other thing with the Wijnaldum stat is, got 11 goals in the Premier League last year. 10 of them were in the box, which shows that he gets into the box. Yeah. He's not scoring worldies, and again, part of you wants a player who puts them from 30, 40 yards out top bin. We also need a player who's just going to tap them into the back of the net. We were talking about Dirk Kuyt. Tom was just randomly watching all Kuyt's goals for Liverpool the other day on YouTube. He had an archetypical goal, which was someone did something really, really good, took a shot, their keeper saved it, and Kuyt put it into the back of the net.
Well, if you think about United when he scored a hat-trick, Luis Suarez basically put them in the net himself.
He scored a hat-trick from a combined 3 yards or something.
But you're like, we haven't had that since then, and actually, if Wijnaldum can be something similar to that, or if we can emerge someone into that role, you need that. You've got players who can score great goals. You also need stiggy ones. You also need ones who just find the back of the net.
Lampard done it for Chelsea for years. And on Chelsea then, we might as well just do a bit of talk on them coming into the season, John. Another new manager.
Another new manager,
that's what Chelsea tend to do recently. He earned a lot of plaudits in the World Cup for how Italy set out tactically. He's obviously done the business elsewhere, wherever he's been. You can't imagine Chelsea are going to be as bad as they were last season, because that hopefully
too many good players. If they keep hold of them, which it looks like they will, they're obviously potentially a very good side. You don't go from being as good as they were 2 seasons ago to being absolutely as bad as they were last season without some reason. And the reason clearly was around Mourinho, wasn't it? So those players, if you get Hazard playing decent football and Costa kicking people again, and Matic gets back to some kind of level, they've got the basis of a good team.
I think if you put everyone at top form on their day, I think Hazard's the second best player in the league.
behind
Sergio Aguero, and then I'd have Hazard.
Wow.
I think he's that good.
He can
He's
be.
honest day.
Yeah.
I mean, he told us that at Anfield, when in a half meaningless game, he stood out as the best player on the pitch, and he didn't even look like he was trying that hard. He just has the drops in form, and I don't know if his head's 100% in it.
I can't remember who it was he played in the Euros, and they suddenly woke up in the second
Yeah.
half and they won 5-0 or something, and he was just unplayable.
And he was just amazing, wasn't he?
It's what
No,
he-
he is.
it's what he can do.
We were talking about Eden Hazard this time last year. He just won Player of the Year. Chelsea were the champions. No one thought that what actually happened. No one would have predicted that Mourinho would be sacked a few months into the season and they'd finish like only just into the top half. And Eden Hazard, you were like, is he up there with Suarez and Bale and Ronaldo and Messi? And then people be like, no, he hasn't got there yet. Another good consistency. And that's it, because he's young. The consistency's not there, but he's an absolutely fantastic footballer. They've also bought well. Kante.
Two signings is N'Golo Kante and then Michy Batshuayi.
Batshuayi, yeah.
As they say. So
It's a terrible name.
it's hard for me. It's hard. I can't get that one right. I'll be there all season. But for me, it shows that A, they haven't had a manager in place, so they haven't really been able to buy anyone yet. And B, he might be quite happy with what he's got. He kept Terry around. That would have been his decision.
He's got Cuadrado. He actually wants to play him.
Yeah, he said Cuadrado's not going to go on loan. I'm going to keep him. So technically, it's like 3 new additions.
Yeah.
And that's my next point. Was that we're playing Chelsea now here in pre-season, where we should be further along ours. Our manager hasn't been off in France all summer. They've had a few players away as well and stuff like that. We've had more of ours back, I'd say. But looking at this game in particular, we should be further along than they are in terms of everything, just because just basic time.
Yeah. Well, we've played more games, haven't we? We've had a much more intense.
They've only played one.
They played two. They played two now.
Yeah.
So we're 2 games ahead of them, which really, really counts. Yeah. If we play every one of our returning players, we're probably on about the same level as them. Like, no one had more players at the Euros than Liverpool, which was mad. So I think us and Juventus tied with 12, wasn't it? But if we field, as John said, which we might go, the ones who are ready for the 70 minutes to the 90 minutes.
And bring the other lads on
bring
for
the other ones running in. We should be a lot better. And like, I've got the line up here from the last game. Begovic, who's massively rumoured with Everton, but at the moment he's still there. So that's not Courtois. Now, does Courtois come straight in, or did he play Begovic? Ivanovic, Terry, Digibody, and then Aina. I've no idea who Aina is. Then they played a 2, which was Oscar and Matic. And then they played Willian, Traore, Diego Costa, and Moses. And then the players who come on, Maziga, Chabola, Mikel, who's still around, Atsu, Kennedy, Loftus-Cheek, and Batshuayi. So
if they play Conte and Matic, because they're 2 in the middle.
That's one hell of a midfield.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be. It looks like I was speaking to mate Ryan, who runs our Chelsea site, just to get ahead of this game, and he says all indications are he's not going to play the 3-5-2 that he played with Italy or Juventus. He looks like it's going to be 4-2-4, which is why he had to go and get N'Golo Kante, because you're going to have to have legs. You're going to have to be able to run and run and run, which
he's going to play Cuadrado on one wing and Hazard on the other.
Or Willian.
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 And then you've got your 2 strikers, which is Batshuayi and Costa maybe.
For now, yeah.
Batshuayi and if Costa doesn't, Morata if they do sell Costa. Which sounds like a really impressive team, doesn't it?
4-2-4 sounds like a hard formation to play. Just in my head.
Yeah.
I think their defence is where they're going to struggle slightly, because they've got to replace Terry.
Eventually,
at some point.
And Ivanovic isn't what he was, is he?
No.
He was the best right back in the world for a while, wasn't he, more or less?
One of them, yeah, definitely.
Particularly when he played us.
Every time.
Every time Eddie. But I'm not sure they've managed to replace them properly yet. But
no, they're just interesting, aren't they? They're definitely going to be a team in transition, because they can't not be a new manager. They've lost a lot of the old stalwarts, their old go-tos over the last few years, which was masked a little bit by the fact that Mourinho can just come in and win you a league, and they did do that under him. But again, you listen to some of those names. I'm not writing any of them off, because they'll be looking at the Ajaria and Bedmudburn that we've been playing and going, well, who are they? You know what I mean? But ultimately,
I like Loftus-Cheek for what it's worth. I think he's a good young player.
He looks like a good footballer, and they've got money. They're going to go out and spend.
But that's my only thing. If you're looking at the season and what we need, I think we need a fast start, because there's a lot of these teams now who are... It's either United, who've brought quite a few, who are getting everyone together, There's Arsenal who have done the exact opposite. They're going to be buying late. Chelsea who are behind because the manager was away. Leicester seem to be losing players here and there. It's only Tottenham really who are quite stable as well.
Yeah. Everyone else has got a new manager and everyone's got...
Even West Ham who finished above us as well. Southampton got a new manager. West Ham are still struggling to bring their players in there. Scrapping around for a striker now. They've tried 5 times and they can't get no one in. So Liverpool need a fast start. And that was my point, was that this could be the perfect, not this game, but the start of the season could be great for Liverpool to just try and go, because it might take Conte a month to like Rodgers did with Liverpool. Rodgers had the whole pre-season, and it wasn't for a while until we started doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now, Conte's had last time, John, and he's got to try and mould Chelsea from...
Absolutely, yeah.
Last season, basically...
Our problem is that we've got such a difficult start.
Yeah.
But if you actually get through that difficult start, then you set yourself up for the season.
Absolutely, so fingers crossed.
So it's really important that we do start early, but also, as you say, while teams are settling in, we might actually get a march on them.
And hopefully, I say we'll learn. I don't know what we'll learn from this game. Like I say, more on start. It's not going to be players who's going to be great. It's more going to be style of play, systems. How can we match up against? We're going to play Chelsea twice. They're going to play that 4-2-4. Well, what can Liverpool do to
counter that,
to get onto it? So
the other thing is, of course, I don't know what the weather's like there, but if it's very hot, then the pressing style is going to have to be adapted a little bit
on a fairly big pitch. I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the game is Wednesday night their time. It's like early hours Thursday morning UK time. So if you're gonna good on you if you're gonna stay up and watch that. Fair play to you. I'm gonna watch the highlights in the morning. I think I'm all right. I've got to work on Thursday, but if you're gonna watch it, fill your boots. The lads are over in America. So when you wake up on Thursday morning and watch the highlights on Liverpool TV or whatever, make sure you go over to the YouTube channel. Chris and Paul will be doing the match day stuff from there as well. So yes, I do doing some reaction to the game, maybe some fan cams, whoever they can get hold of over there, and keep an eye on Snapchat, the Redmen TV. Chris will be doing what he's doing. Hopefully it won't just be food. There might be some football in there as well for you. If you're lucky, you might get a bit of footy in it. At the minute, it's just a dinner. But when he's at the game, he tends to do a bit more than that. And other than that, I think we'll just might as well end it there. Yeah. It's a friendly. I'm not, you know what? Every time I'm on, Paul asks me for a score prediction for a friendly, and I don't know what to say. So I'm not even going to ask you for it this time, unless you want to do one. No, we sound good. Yeah. That's just my executive decision. Paul isn't here. I'll take the reins on that. So if you want to tell us your predictions, by all means, go for it. Someone will read it. Tom, go through the comments, and Tom's nodding. He'll do that for you, definitely. Other than that, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Give this a thumbs up, because just for me, just because I need the ego boost. I'm not Paul. I know I'm not Paul. Don't. Every comment is, why have they got Carl Pilkington replacing Paul? we don't need that. We don't need that. Just be nice.
Remember, you're a motherfucking G.
Someone did call me a G, yeah, but that was only after someone else said, "Who's this baldy?" So it kind of equaled out. I'm not reading the comments anymore. I think
we told you not to.
You could just cherry pick the best ones for me. I need the ego boost. I don't need the kicking. Yeah, I know I'm baldy. You don't have to tell me in the comments. Let's wrap it up. So thanks to John and Aubury. Like I say, keep an eye out on the channel for Paul and Chris over in the States. See you later. Ta-ra.